Welcome everyone. Where's that time gone? I'm back in the chair again. Seems like I never left. The time just flies round. It's been interesting actually. Today, it's like I've thought about the episode a lot and nothing is clear. And as I was sat here, it felt like again it's another leap of faith. It's another walk of trust, deeper trust. Because the more I try to do anything here, the worse it becomes. I felt anxious at times today and nervous, more nervous than before, because I didn't know what to say. And it was like there were ideas coming, but nothing was concrete. And so I wasn't sure what he wanted, what was given for me to talk about today. And so it's interesting, just not knowing, really not knowing, and then doing it live. So it feels very precious actually. I feel grateful because I have to let go. Because what am I going to do? There's nothing, I can't cling to anything here. I can't be relying on anything else in this God-given moment. It's all down to me and listening to what wants to be provided. And I think that's the most important thing actually. Because this week I had a deep prayer because of the guidance online retreat that's coming. And I thought, yeah, it's a month of really stepping up in that. And so I want to see where I'm not following, or I'm not listening, or I'm not being present. I want to really be present for the Spirit. To take it more seriously, to not wander off into temptation. And so it felt like that was the invitation. That of course the Holy Spirit has a curriculum for us all, and we're all in that curriculum. There's like lessons that are just happening for everyone. And so this seems like a valuable lesson. It feels like something to be grateful for. Just to not know and feel okay with that. Just to simply be here now and be okay with that. Because what I was thinking is, well, what's it really all about? Because if it's about doing something, if it's about getting somewhere, if it's about achieving something, if it's about holding on to something, then what's the point? The time that we spend together is for undoing of the concept. And so right now, the most important thing is that I don't plan, that I do trust. Seemingly that's what's being presented in my mind. So it's a real gift, because it's a real gift. Because it's helping me let go of myself in a very, very beautiful way. Because if I think that I'm here to talk to anyone or to do anything that's going to bolster an ego concept, then it's going to be death. it's going to be complete death. It's not going to be helpful. And so that's why the listening's really, really important to what is really, really given. And at the moment it's been pretty obvious because of how I've been feeling. That's a good way of gauging the kind of guidance, because each time I'm thinking about what I'm going to do here, I really don't feel good. I feel ill. I feel like I'm going downhill because I'm trying to make something happen. And of course it's my own nervousness, it's my own anxiety that the ego personality is feeling like I've got to do something. But it's really important that I stay where I am now. And so each morning in my prayers, I always say, part of my morning prayer is always, I want to be with you as much as possible. I want to remember you. I want to stay with you. And of course I drift off. That's part of it. But then I remember and come back, and so this is what this time that we have together to remember. That's literally all it is. Because this isn't even about you. It's not even about me. That's the complete funny thing about it. It's not that you're actually going to get something from this. The ego wants to get something from this, but there's nothing to get. Because how can you get when you already are? So that's the game, isn't it? We're always wanting to be fed by something, but we're not actually truly listening to what's really coming through for us, through our fears. Everything seems to come through a fear filter. And so when we're in that state of fear, we start to look outwards or try and plan to relieve our anxiety or depression or whatever, the guilt, the feelings that might be coming up. Because even the guidance can feel like it's coming through the filter of fear, and then it's, oh my God, the ego wants you to believe that it's fearful. Because it has to, we're breaking through that barrier, that illusory barrier that's fear. Of course we know it, it's just like smoke, isn't it? It's a seemingly what might happen. Can I really do this? Can I really be present? That's really more to the point. That's been the main theme, I think, of these past few days is presence. If I'm present, completely present, we're completely present now, then there's nothing going on. There's just you and I. And in that the filter leaves. Now we have no expectations because it's just you and I. We're just in this moment, there's nothing going on. But it's only when the mind, the ego mind, wants to start kicking in with its past thoughts, because everything's purely past. So a friend of mine asked a really, really beautiful question actually. I really, really enjoyed it. I heard it in a very, very different way. It made me laugh. And she asked me, she said, how do we undo the past? And it was the first time I actually heard it and I thought, what a joke that is. Wow, what a trick that is. How do I undo the past? Well, how can you undo what's already over? It's over, it's done. So what is the part that thinks you've got to let go of the past when you already have? So that eliminates a lot of problems, doesn't it? because all it is memory making. It's the memories of myself that are keeping me locked into this position of a identity. So it's such a foolish question when you really, really think about it. It's a beautiful question, and it's a foolish question at the same time. How do I let go of the past? But it's not here. How do I let go of what's not here? When you really look at it, it's very funny. Because that's what the ego wants us to do. It wants us to get caught up into this story. It wants to keep that in place. And so it generates these stories, and then we seemingly feel like we've got to heal them. But they're gone. They're not there. They're not the truth any longer. Because often we do that, don't we? We're always talking about what just happened, but we're never actually being present. And then we're reconfirming that identity. And so we're not letting the newness arise within this continuum. And so that's what I thought about actually with this title of this episode. Gratitude is the attitude. And I don't even know why that struck a chord with me. But now, it's like, can we just be grateful for this moment? Can we really be grateful for this moment? Truly. That everything is here and now. This is where the gratitude starts, and this is where the gratitude ends. In fact, it never ends. It's just now, if we choose it. So there's our choices, isn't it? Our choice is to choose the past, or our choice is to choose the present moment, which is filled with gratitude. So really and truthfully, our attitude is just to be present. And I think there has to be a firm no to the past. That's important. Because it only comes around because we want to hold on to something. And that's okay. It will be dropped. It will be dropped from your mind, and it has been dropped from your mind. That's the beautiful thing. But here now is we just want to stay very, very present with one another. We want to have a new moment, like we've never met before. That's the beautiful teaching of what Jesus brings to us in the Course in Miracles. By saying, if you could see the newness in every instant, in every moment, it would really become really beautiful. But it's only because you think you know something about someone or the situation is that it becomes old and stale. And that's where this striving's coming from. And so, yeah, I just feel like I am being given so much, so many gifts. But yet if I refer to my ego, I miss so much. I miss so much of the gift. And it can be so simple. This very moment can be so simple. All those silly games that we play of striving. Because it's interesting, because I've had a few questions, and most of them, the theme, so maybe this is going on for you, I don't know, it's been about relationships. People keep asking me about relationships. It seems to be a common theme. Each week I get asked about that. And we haven't really spoke about relationships yet. And one of the interesting things of what's being asked is, why haven't I got a relationship now? I want a relationship. That's been number one, that's for sure. And it's like, well, can't you be happy with what you've got now? If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. We talked about this last night, actually, and because it's in the course, I mean, it's in any deep spiritual practice. But what is meant to happen will happen. And what is not meant to happen is not going to happen. And you've seen that, haven't you, yourself? No matter what, no matter how hard you've pushed for something, it hasn't worked. And then other times you do something and it works. It falls flat on its head. And you think, why didn't it work out? Why didn't I get there? Why didn't I get to where I thought I wanted to be? No, it wasn't meant to happen. And then of course we end up going over that for the rest of our lives. Over that situation. Why didn't that work out? Why didn't that happen? Really caring about things like that. And then the same thing is when things happen. I'm really glad that happened. But it was meant to happen. So it's like, we always want what we don't have, don't we? Well, that's what the ego trick is. And it's like, it's that old trick of like, happiness is in the future. That's the same thing, isn't it? I'm doing the Course in Miracles. I'm really enjoying that. Many great things happening in my life, but I haven't got a partner. And that, I would be really grateful if I had a partner. But Holy Spirit's not bringing it to me. So I'm not feeling that grateful at the moment, because, you know, I'm doing everything for the Holy Spirit. Oh yeah, lesson every day, practicing really hard, doing everything, but where's the partner? It's really bringing me down. And it's like, well, yeah, because it's not meant to be happening. We can't accept the present moment. We can't accept what's given. And it's always happening. It might not necessarily be in relationships. There's always something, isn't it? Oh, if only the garden looked a bit better. If, you know, it's starting to grow now with all this sun and rain and whatever. God, if only I could do more out there, then I'd feel much more happier. And so there's always something to strive for, but it's not here. It's not now. And so do you think about how, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about how much time is wasted on what's not happening. It's really funny, isn't it? Can you think about probably in your day-to-day, how much time has been spent on thinking about what hasn't happened rather than thinking about what has been happening? You're probably laughing to yourselves. Unfortunately, I can't see you, but I imagine we're probably laughing together at this. That mind wandering into what I haven't got. And maybe even, what you're gonna do tomorrow. There's the next thing, isn't it? It's we're just moving on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and then before you know it, the day's over, and you're tired, and you're not even been present, and you know that. So okay, that's not a problem. We start again. That's what we're doing. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing, and so that's just what we're practicing. There's nothing to beat ourselves up over. It's merely a practice in being present. That's all it is. That's all spiritual paths are doing the same thing, and whatever resonates with you is the one, and our chosen one is the Course in Miracles. That seems to keep the mind, the ego mind, occupied enough to eventually spring out of its hole that it's this safe space that it's seemingly created for itself, and we're dislodging it from that. But that's the big trick, isn't it? That we want what we haven't got now. And then we're believing that not everything's being provided for now. Something's lacking. Something's lacking in me. Something's not quite right. So therefore something needs to happen. And I think actually that was what was happening to me today before the show, and today is that the emotions got higher because it was, I've got to plan, something's got to happen, I've got to do something. How on earth am I going to do this? And it's all future thinking. But really it's already over. I've just got to stay with the one that knows. And if I can stay there long enough, then it will be revealed to me. I don't have to go chasing anything. And so I think this is what it's all about, really. He's putting me in this position to share in this way. And I feel so grateful for that, because it feels like I'm being so supported in such a wonderful way to be more present. To be with him more. To let go. Because that's all I want. Because I want what's permanent. I don't want what's impermanent. So these episodes will last as long as they will last, as long as he wants them. It's not for me to be anyone. I'm not here to be anyone for you. Because that's what the ego wants. It's always behind everything, wanting to get some gratification for what it's doing. But get real is about letting go of all of that and being honest about it. To let go of all the roles. My role here is to not play a role. Sounds like a Zen koan, doesn't it? Or all go away. I'm even thinking, okay, what does that mean? But it really is. Yeah, it's really not to get anywhere. Sounds so funny saying these things, but it also feels really good. Because I was thinking about this. It sprung to me, I think it was yesterday, and I realised that I have nothing to achieve. It sort of touched me inside. Particularly when looking outward to the world. I thought, there's nothing there. There's nothing I want to prove. I'm not striving for something. And it sort of dawned on my mind how relaxing that is, that I don't have to achieve anything. I'm okay just the way I am. There's nothing to add. And I think that's the permission that you're okay. There's nothing to add to you. You're free. You're free to be you. You can loosen the chains. You have so much to give. You have so much love. And that's the only thing that you're holding back. But you don't have to. You don't have to do that. You're allowed to be joyful. You're allowed to be happy. It's really funny actually, I don't know why it's just come to me. But someone said, it's really funny, it said, we live in a really fucked up society if you have to give people the permission to be happy. And I thought, there you go, that's it. I mean, that is crazy, isn't it? We all hide our happiness. We all hold back our joy. That's the problem. And we have to wait for seemingly the outside to tell us, yes, now is an appropriate time for you to be happy. It's not a given. There's a time and a place for being happy. But it's not all the time. You can have moments of happiness, but not all the time. No. Not in this world. Wow. That's what we live in. Oh dear. And so we sit here and have to be reminded, I'm telling myself here, I have to be reminded to be happy. Now, if that isn't insanity, I don't know what is. So funny, I'm grateful that I'm sharing this, because it's so funny, these ingrained beliefs of what's right and what's wrong. And one of them is, don't get too joyful, don't be too happy. That's not appropriate. And most people abide by that rule. And most people do a lot of things that doesn't make them happy. They don't follow their heart. Stay in relationships that aren't good for them, that aren't working. Stay doing jobs that don't work for them. Because we're addicted to fear. And we don't give ourselves permission to be happy. And so we have to be reminded to be happy. Wow, that's so crazy. Because, you know, and I'm thinking now back to myself, like today, I was more concerned about being worried about doing this episode, feeling anxious, feeling nervous, feeling responsible. That's been most of my morning, right? And now I get here and I have to reconfirm to myself that your day is to be happy. And I'm like, and it's not until I sit in this chair that it dawns on my mind that my day is to be happy. So, thank you. Thank you for that. Oh dear. I'm having therapy with myself here. This is excellent. Free therapy. Oh dear, I'm feeling much better now just talking to myself here. What's all that worry about? What was I worrying about? Worrying about nothing. There's that saying, isn't it? You're worrying about nothing. Yeah, obviously. That's the whole point of it. Worrying about nothing. But you know what? This is the interesting thing that's coming to me now, is why aren't we giving ourselves permission? That's what I want to know. Why? Why? This is really, really important. This is a really, really important message. This is the most important message that's going to be heard today and ever. That's why we've come together. To be joyful together. I had a prayer actually. I said, for this episode then, as I was sitting there, and I thought, well, you named it. Gratitude is the attitude. Then you're obviously wanting it to be live, completely here and now. So you're going to have to help me find that gratitude, because I don't know. Oh, and I'm just feeling that gratitude, so it's just so beautiful. My mission's complete. Because it was like I was forced, and I thought, I've got to be grateful. I've got to be grateful for something here. And of course, all through that worrying, I was not feeling grateful. I was thinking, why have you put me on the spot that now I need to be grateful for something? And he's like, well, I'm here with you now. And if you just stayed here a little longer, you will experience the gratitude, but you've decided to go off on your own and have a morning of worry and concern. But it's okay, because you're going to sit in the chair and we're going to allow the gratitude to come through. In the present moment, this is the teaching. So what are we learning? What am I learning here? I do not know. I don't know how to be grateful. He does. And it's always here. Yeah, I could actually see just then this beautiful, beautiful gratitude welling up inside. And then I saw the block. It was responsible. I was responsible for being grateful. Oh dear. There was a responsibility here to do something. I was responsible for you. Oh dear. So deep, isn't it? Thinking that we're responsible for others. And of course, my mind went to the worst place ever, because it was like, this is going to be the worst show ever. There was the expectation then. You're going to let everyone down and yourself down. And then the responsibility builds. Oh dear. But I've just been shown I could not be responsible for that. Yeah, it feels like then it's a bigger handing over. I'm not responsible for these episodes. It's just dawning on my mind. I'm really not responsible. So maybe you're thinking about your life actually, what you actually believe that you're responsible for. Because you'd think about this, it's like, well, for me, it's like, well, I'm the only one sat in the chair, so who else is responsible for this? That's what the ego says, doesn't it? Because it's like, put me into this position where it's seemingly this one body here, and it's like, well, you're responsible. You're responsible if it goes wrong. You're responsible if it goes right. It's down on your head. And now I'm just learning I'm not even responsible for that. So you think about that, you think about your relationships. You know, your children, for instance, that's a good one, isn't it? You're not even responsible for that. We've just demonstrated it here and now. It's a big unwinding that, of being responsible. So it can be an invitation this week actually to continuously look at where I'm feeling responsible because I'm not responsible. And as we've just seen, I'm not even responsible for the gratitude. I'm not responsible for how I feel. We have to put everything back this way, don't we? I'm just seeing this now from my own mind. Everything. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion, every belief, every desire, every action, every behaviour, everything that's supposed to happen is not my responsibility. It's his. I've actually seen that. I've been given a new project actually, which is interesting. This responsibility coming up, and it was. We haven't had our gardeners here so much, so I've been doing a bit more gardening, and I really enjoyed it. I have no clue about gardening. I don't know, so it's all very new, and I really enjoyed it. And so now things are getting back to sort of normal, and the gardeners have come back. But yet it was like, hey, do you want to start a vegetable patch? And it was like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, you can do that as a project. It's like, yeah, that sounds. I really felt it. I felt something really joyful with it. And the main thing about it was I thought, this is really great because I have no clue how to do this. So I'm going to have to rely on pure guidance to do this. So I thought this is actually really good. I'm going to have to really trust because I just don't know how to do it. And it was really beautiful. So I sat there, once it was sort of given to me, I just sat there and I felt a lot of joy just meditating. And I just thought, yeah, this is really, it's not about what I'm going to be doing, but it's about really my prayer. And it's like, I just want to be shown, I just want to be led in a really beautiful way. And for everything just to be given, I want it to be natural. I want it to flow in a beautiful way. I just want to listen and follow. So it's all a natural guided, beautiful flow, a beautiful dance that I have no control over, that I just have to be available to it. I have to just give my mind to it, give my love to it, just give my mind completely over to it. And what will be provided for will be provided for. And so I really felt that, even though there was a bit of nervousness and there was a bit of responsibility, because I thought, oh God, now I've got to provide a vegetable patch for the community. You know, of course, that's where the ego comes in, and that's where my nervousness again was. I was like, God. And then, of course, you think, what if it fails? And it's like, well, what if it does? What actually does it matter? And so that was tinkering around in the background. So I'm glad I'm seeing this again, this responsibility. So we're really washing all this responsibility. But again, it's interesting that I'm seeing this because I thought, well, if it's about responsibility and getting something done, then what would be the purpose? But what I said for myself is, what did I want? I want it to be joyful, because the very first feelings that I had around it was joy. I thought, I feel really happy. So that's my outset, to be joyful, to be happy in whatever's going to happen. It's just a beautiful thing. And so that's actually the prayer. And then all of a sudden the ego prayer comes in of, well, you're responsible. And I had some really beautiful experiences that don't happen often. So that the morning after the prayer, I go to the car and I'm going out, and this never happens. This bird was flying around in the carport like this, and he flew towards the wall, and I thought, wow, I've never seen a bird in here like this before. So I just stood there, and you know what birds like, normally I'm like, if it comes near me I'm like flinching or something, but for some unknown reason I didn't flinch. And this bird just turned round, and it just flew over my head, like it just circled over my head 3 times close to me, and I just didn't flinch for some unknown reason. I must have been channeling St. Francis or something at the time. And he went like this, he just like flew right over my head, and I could like see him so clearly, like as he was flying, he went like vroom, 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 and then he flew off. And I was like, God, that was amazing, that was beautiful. Just seeing him in flight was absolutely beautiful. And then I remembered the vegetable patch, and I thought, oh, is this the animal kingdom saying to me, oh yeah, this is a really good idea. I took it as a sort of symbol. I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but whatever. I thought, oh, that feels like a beautiful thing, a beautiful nature symbol coming to me. And so I thought, oh, great, the bird kingdom are happy with me that I'm going to be doing the doing the vegetable patch. So it felt like an inspiring symbol. I thought, okay, I feel like I'm moving in the right direction. He's given me a good sign there. And then in our kitchen, I'm sat in our kitchen now twice in a row. I've gone down to have my dinner, and this never happens. This exact same bird is sat on our umbrella outside. He sat there. But this time he was looking, the first time he's looking at me. It's like as if we're like eye gazing with one another. And he's a lovely, lovely sized bird like this. And we're just looking at one another. And he's sort of like this. And he's sort of like turning his head. And then he's looking up and that. But he's like looking, and he's not frightened. And even when I sat there, I ate my whole dinner. He stayed there for the whole time. I washed up everything, and then I had to go out. And so I had to go out where he was. I undone the door. He didn't even fly off. And then we were stood there again. And then I walked a little further, and I was actually walking away from him when he flew off. And I thought, God, that's really interesting. And he flew over to this other post, and he just sat there. So it's just like a beautiful sort of I was just like, oh, thank you for turning up. So anyway, the next day I go to have my dinner at a different time, and he's there. He appears, he's on the thing again, but this time he's facing the other way. He's facing towards the lake. He's just looking out onto the lake. And I just thought, God, this is really interesting. He's turned up again, different time, and I'm eating my dinner again. And then he flew to the other post. He'd done exactly the same thing again. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. And it was just another sort of, it felt like this other symbol of like, yeah, you're going in the right direction. And it's like, since moving in that direction, like I got told actually now is the time. It's like I've got 2 weeks basically to get this this vegetable patch done, and there was a lot of work to be done. And me and my friend Anna Say, we went out, and everything just completely and utterly was just so simple. It just happened like boom, like everything was provided for. Just like yes, 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 you can do that. I phoned up the gardener, yes, 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 and everything is just boom. We will literally be ready for 2 weeks' time. And so it's just like wow. It was like I felt like I did nothing. I met these beautiful, helpful beings were just like there, like God given, and it was just that remembering. It's like I am with you. You know, it's never about the people. It's never about the task. It's just like I am with you. I could just feel that. You know, it was just like I am here wherever I went. It was just beautiful, beautiful joinings. It felt so peaceful. Just me and Anna Say talking to these people in these beautiful gardens, and yep, we can do that. 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 And it's just like, wow, when you just hand over and you have no clue, like these shows, you just don't know where it's going to go. Same with this vegetable patch. I mean, I have absolutely no idea. And they're like, yeah, this is the best time to do it. Yep, you've got 2 weeks to do it. I was like, oh my God, it seems like a lot of work. Is it? I don't know. The gardener's already dug everything out, and I've got my new soil coming on Thursday. He's going to be, today. I don't even know what the days are. Straight after this, that's where I'm going. I'm on my next mission. I'm going directly from here over to where the vegetable patch is, because we're going to be laying the dirt. And it's like, oh dear, that just feels so beautiful. It's just this sign of being guided. It's like being guided without being guided. It's like it's all just happening. It's all just naturally happening. And that's when that's when it's so wonderful. That's when it's just felt like it's just been completely lifted from my hands. Everything's been lifted from my hands, and just being given these beautiful gifts to say, I am with you. I am with you. I am with you. I am here. That's it. That's the only answer I needed. I am with you. Oh dear, that's just wiped away all that responsibility. Ah, wow. Yeah, it's always the deeper message. It's not about the form. And that's what I kept feeling. It was like he was surrounding me. Yeah, so that's what I want us to take away from today. That he's here now. He never left you. And if you choose to, everything's going to be provided for. And everything can be really, really joyful. And effortless. Even the hardest things. You know, it makes you laugh, doesn't it? It's like to Jesus, he's like, what, a vegetable patch? God alive. You're going to give me something hard to do? Come on. I can make this happen like that. And he is. And it's like, oh my God, it's amazing. I'm not even doing anything. And that's the same with your deep anxieties, your deep issues. He's just like, God, this is so simple. Get over yourself. I can help you right now. Just hand it over to me. I'm here. I'm always here for you. He never has a day off. He enjoys what he does. He enjoys sharing his love. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for aiding my healing and taking me through that. I really appreciate it. I feel much better now. And we'll see what happens next week. And yeah, if you want to write to me any questions or anything, then please feel free to write any questions and we'll see if we can answer them. We'll see what happens. I love hearing from you. And thank you for all your support and actually all your devotion, because there's so many of you. I can't name you all. You're all in the chat there. But you're here every single week. So I just feel so grateful. I feel so supported. It's so beautiful. You're all like these angels that are all surrounding me, all there, just walking each other home, just wanting that truth. That beautiful desire in your heart is so strong. And you're just here with me, here and now, just wanting it the same as what I do. And so we're just joining in this desire. So it's just wonderful. So I just feel so grateful that we have this time together. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It truly is a pleasure to do this together. So thank you so much. It's very, very inspiring. So as always, let's expect miracles. You are entitled to miracles. That's what I've been doing. I am entitled to miracles. It's the only lesson that he puts entitled in, I believe. That's the only thing you're entitled to, is miracles. That's just great news, isn't it? So you're entitled to miracles. Let's expect miracles. And if you have any miracles, you can share them with me too. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you next week. Many blessings. Bye for now.